This lecture is going to introduce the syllabus. So the first thing that I think is important to talk about is how to communicate with me. Since this is an online course, you can't really ask me a question before or after class. So the best and easiest way to communicate with me is to email me. I'm Dr. Roush, and my email therefore is froush@lander.edu. I do my best to respond to emails within 24 hours. If it has been more than 24 hours and you have not received a response from me, please do just send the email again. And then it's possible I just missed it or something came up and I was not able to get back to you as quickly as I would like to have. I'm kind of an old-fashioned person, which I guess it makes sense as I'm a historian. I treat emails like letters, so I always have an introduction, dear so-and-so, and then I end with a closing, yours truly, Franklin Roush, or something like that. And I think that's kind of the polite thing to do. If we send several emails back and forth, you don't have to necessarily have a beginning, opening, and closing to each email, but I think that is important to do. And honestly speaking, just as a general rule, if you're polite, people are more likely to answer your emails and to answer them more quickly. So that's something to kind of think about. And it is important if you ask me for information, if you ask me a question, that after I respond to your question, you email me a response that would say thank you, and that would say, was that information helpful or not? And that lets me know that you didn't receive my email. And again, it's polite. If you ask someone to do something and they do it for you, it's polite to say thank you. One thing I should point out, I'm happy to answer emails clarifying things. So if you're working on your museum project and a question comes up and I perhaps was not sufficiently clear, if you want to email me, that makes sense. If people email me asking questions about information that's readily available on the syllabus or in one of the videos I've assigned, I will direct them to watch the videos or read the syllabus, right? That's the kind of the idea of having that information out there so that people can listen to it or read it. And sometimes I've had people email me questions simply because they didn't want to bother going on Blackboard and checking. So that is important to make sure that you do watch those videos and read the syllabus. And I'm going to go over some key points here. But in cases where people are just asking me for information from those sources, I'll just direct you to those sources. Now, because this is an online class, I don't really have set office hours. I will occasionally sometimes be going into the office to work. If there's a question that's too complex that we can't deal with over email, we can just make an appointment to meet in person, or if you're taking this class far away from Land or far away from Greenwood, we can just talk on the phone. So you would just send me an email and we can set up an appointment that way if there's something that's so complex we can't really deal with it over email. And that's fine. That's not a problem. Please do keep in mind, though, I expect that you will be checking email every day. That's my main way I'll be communicating, and I'll be sending out at least one group email per week. So please do make sure you're checking your Lander account every day. So one thing, and I hate going over something like this, but I do need to make clear the academic dishonesty statement. A student who is found guilty of academic dishonesty will receive the grade of a 0 on the assignment, and the event the violation is sufficiently serious, an F for the semester grade. According to the Lander University Student Handbook, academic dishonesty includes cheating, plagiarism, or the giving or receiving of oral written information, or that a student may receive undeserved credit for work. For more specific information on this topic, see the handbook. And I think the key word for me is undeserved credit, right? I mean, that it's just dishonest, it's unjust to cheat, right? And if you do this, you're fundamentally an unjust person. You're a dishonest person. And I don't think anyone really wants to be unjust or dishonest. Cheaters always have lots of excuses why it's okay for them to cheat. But the fact is, they are what they are. They're dishonest, dishonorable people. And they have to face that when they look in the mirror, even if we don't catch them. But if we do catch them, we have these kinds of penalties. So in terms of your assignments, I'm going to have another video on the schedule and I'll go over the different various assignments one by one. But here I just want to note some rules about assignments. Assignments should be uploaded onto Blackboard by the time and date noted in the syllabus, right? So there is a particular time and date. It'll say like 11:59 p.m. Sunday. So it needs to be up by that time. They must be in a readable format, preferably doc or docx. If I can't read the format, then there will be a penalty, 5 points to the assignment, and it won't be graded until it has been uploaded in a format I can read. If an assignment is turned in 1 day late, it will suffer a minus 50% penalty. So let's say there's an assignment worth 20 points. You turn it, and it's due on Sunday, but you turn it in on Monday, and normally the assignment would have received 18 out of 20 points. It would only receive 9 out of 20 points. And if it was turned in, if the assignment was due Sunday and it was turned in on Tuesday, you won't receive any points, right? I really have to stress this may seem like a draconian policy, but the reason is kind of simple, is that this is a summer class that only meets for a total of 6 weeks. You cannot afford to fall behind, and this is the best way I can make sure that people don't fall behind. And in addition, it's important when doing, and this is particularly for the museum project, is that it's important to get the assignments into me on time, because those assignments are kind of like building blocks that will help you to develop your museum project. If you're not turning those in to me on time, you try and do your museum project all at once, you're going to do a really terrible museum project. So that's why I have it set up that way. So keep that in mind. So there's weekly assignments. There's going to be assignments, multiple assignments every week. And those will be graded basically based on how well you do in terms of, is it clear? Are you answering the questions I'm putting to you? Did you put forth the effort? Did you show that you had watched the videos and did the readings, that kind of thing? So that's something to think about. So I really want to see that you're thinking, that you're trying. If you're just phoning it in, you're not going to get that many points. And as I said, there's this kind of, all this stuff is kind of building up to a final project. So you want to make sure you stay on top of things. A large part of your grade is also going to be based on Blackboard quizzes. And the reason I have quizzes and papers is to make sure that people really know and understand the material, right? And I want to stress, you usually want to do the response papers and other assignments first and then do the quizzes. Don't do it the other way around. And that's because in part the quizzes are open note and open book. But each week there'll be multiple quizzes. Typically there will be one based off the readings, one based off the videos, and one based on one or more websites that you will be asked to read. And these quizzes will typically have 5 to 10 questions. They're each worth 20 points. So if it's 5 questions, they'll be worth 4 points each. If 10 questions, they'll be worth 2 points each. And you get 1 minute per question to answer them, right? So the Blackboard quiz, if it's 5 questions, you'll get 5 minutes. So that's something to keep in mind. The exception are the website scavenger hunts. Those that will be based on the number of websites I have you look at. And it will be 10 to 15 minutes per website. So you have a lot more time for that one. So it's still good to look at the website before, but it's not as necessary. But definitely with the other ones, the reading videos and those ones, you want to do the reading, watch the video, fill out the response paper, and only then take the quizzes. And as I said, these quizzes are open note and open book, right? So you can look at your notes, look at your response papers. They're just not open friend, right? They're not open friend. So don't work together with people on them. They're not meant to be terribly difficult. I'm not going to be looking for very kind of esoteric information, but I am going to ask for things that show that you have listened carefully to the videos or the podcasts and that you have carefully read the information. And this is to help you to retain this information, right? To make sure that you actually learn it. I will only allow retakes on Blackboard quizzes for dire documented reasons, right? You're going to have many days to take particular quizzes, right? You basically have a whole week to take the quizzes. So you should be able to plan out your week in a way that can do that. If there is a dire documented reason, I might extend with or without a penalty, but you would have to email me to inform me. I won't hunt you down. And one thing I have to stress, forgetting a quiz results in a 0 for the quiz, right? Forgetting does not count. You need to remember quizzes. You have many ways to remember taking a quiz. You can set an alarm on your phone. You can have a planner. Like I said, you've got a long time to watch it. So forgetting to take a quiz is not grounds for retaking a quiz. Now, I do allow up to 2 retakes for technological problems. So sometimes people are like, oh, my laptop shut down in the middle of this quiz. I will fix that twice. After that, though, you need to get a different laptop or you need to go somewhere else to take your quizzes. Part of this class is making sure that you have the right kind of technology to be able to take your quizzes. You can, if you have to, take Blackboard quizzes on a smartphone, but I don't recommend it. So keep these rules in mind. So a few other items. There is a inclement weather policy in the syllabus, and like I said, the syllabus is on Blackboard. That shouldn't ever really come up because this is an online class, but I still have it on there just in case for some reason you do want to come here. And it just says don't drive if you're going to risk your life doing so. Title IX probably should not come up, but we should keep that needs to be in the syllabus for various legal reasons. So if you feel like you've been have faced a Title IX violation, the policy is in the syllabus. And I should note that I do reserve the right to make changes to the syllabus should I feel that those need to be done during the semester. So if you've taken my class before, any of my classes, you know that I'm terrible at math. And so I do evaluation on a simple point system. There are a certain number of points available during the semester. And based on how many points you get, you can see what grade you're going to get. So if you get at least 800 points, but less than 900, you get a B. If you get above 900, you get an A. If you get more than 699, but less than 800, you get a C. So it's very, very simple, and it lets you kind of keep track of your grade. Now, where do those points come from? Well, from a bunch of different assignments, right? This is a class where we're going to have lots of assignments, and I get to do lots of grading. So there are 6 lecture and video quizzes, one for each week. This class meets over a total of 6 weeks, and those will be based on the various lecture videos, such as this one. This can be on the quiz. The lecture videos I give, as well as videos or podcasts that I assign as part of this course. There's also 6 reading quizzes, and those will be based. Those are similar, but they're on the readings. Each of those are worth 20 points each, so 6 times 20 is 120. There will be 5 web scavenger hunt quizzes. We will not have one the last week of class, so that's worth a total of 100 points. There will be a response paper every week, and there are 6 of those, and those will be asking questions based on the videos, readings, and websites that you will look at. And one thing I want to stress, please do those first before you try and take the quiz, because that will help prepare you for the quiz, and you can use them to help you take the quiz. There's also some miscellaneous assignments. There's a museum critique paper where you will view a museum exhibit, and I'll talk about that later. There is a oral history project proposal that is worth 50 points. And we'll do that in the oral history section. There's an oral history transcript where you'll actually transcribe part of an oral history interview. There's a want ad assignment where you're going to answer a job ad. You don't have to actually send it to the people, but you will send it to me. There'll be 2 museum project reports. These are things that will help you get ready for the museum project. There will also be a museum secondary sources report where it's a research report, and a museum primary source report. And all those things help you with the museum project. And the museum project itself is worth 200 points, and altogether makes for a total of 1,015 points. And then I grade that out of 1,000. So as you can see, there's like 15 bonus points built in, so I don't plan on having any bonus assignments during this class because there's already some bonus built in.